Hello everyone. Now in this session we are going to solve one numerical based on the convolutional encoder. But before solving the numerical, let us look at some of the parameters which are associated with the convolutional code. So parameters of the convolutional code. Here we'll have to look at the three important parameter of the convolutional code. The first parameter is code rate. Now how can we define the code rate? So it is basically a ratio of k by n. Now what is this k? K means number of bits applied as an input to convolutional encoder. And what is n? N is the number of output bits. So code rate is basically the ratio of number of bits applied as an input to the convolutional encoder and number of output bits for that corresponding input bits applied to the convolutional encoder. So for example, suppose this is what our convolutional encoder is. Now in the previous lecture we have seen that we are applying one bit to this convolutional encoder at a time, and for that corresponding one bit we are getting 3 bits in the output sequence. So what is the value of k and what is the value of n? So the value of k is 1, since we are applying 1 bit as an input to the convolutional encoder, and for that corresponding 1 bit, how many bits we are getting in the output? 3. So this is what the value of r is equal to 1 by 3. Now the next parameter is constraint length. Constraint length is defined as the number of bits which will have an impact on how many number of bits in the output. In another word, it can be defined as it is the product of small n into capital N, where small n means number of shift register and capital N means number of XOR gate. Capital N means number of XOR gates and small n means number of shift register. So in my previous example, if we look at the number of XOR gate, they are 3, and the number of shift register, they are 3. So what will be the constraint length here? The value of the constraint length L is equal to 3 into 3, which is 9. So what does it means? The total 9 bits will be affected by a single input bit in this convolutional encoder. So let us look at once again the definition of constraint length. It is defined as the number of bits which will be applying to the convolutional encoder will make an impact to how many number of bits in the output. So if we see the first, let's say the first bit which we'll be applying here, so because of this first bit we are getting how many bits in the output? 3 bits. Well, the same bit in the next, after applying the clock cycle, it will be shifted to the second shift register. Once again, because of this input bit we are getting 3 more output bits, and in the next clock cycle it will be reaching to the or shifted to the third shift register, that is D2, and once again we are getting 3 bits output. So when the input bit is here we are getting 3 bits output, when it is reaching here we are getting 3 more bits, and when it is reached here we are getting 3 more bits. So 3 plus 3 plus 3, total 9 bits are affected by the single input bit. So that's why the constraint length L is equal to 9, and the dimension of the code is the last third parameter. So it is defined this way in bracket n comma k. N means number of output bits for the corresponding k number of bits. So what is the value of n and k here? So the value of n is 3 and the value of k is 1. K means number of bits applied at a time to the convolutional encoder. So at a time we are just applying one bit. So that's why the value of k is 1, and for one bit How many bits we are getting in the output? 3 bits at a time. So that's why 3 comma 1 is the dimension of the code. Now let us try to solve one numerical which is based on this convolutional encoder. So I'm having this example. Let us have a look. For the convolutional encoder shown in the figure below, this figure, find out the code word for input message sequence D is equal to 10011. So this is the figure given to us. Now what we can do, we are going to first of all redraw this figure into our figure which we have drawn earlier in my last session. So we call that figure as a standard figure. So whatever the figure which is given, we are trying to convert the given figure into the original or the standard figure. So this is what the figure I have drawn here. Now if you see this figure, the given figure, it is composed of 3 shift register, 2 XOR gate, 1 switch, and the input is applied to the M0. Similarly, the diagram is composed of 3 shift register M0, M1, M2. Input is applied to the first 2 XOR gates. Now if you see the first XOR gate, 3 connections are coming, the output of M0, M1 and M2. That's why I have connected all these 3 terminals here. And to the second XOR gate, connections are from M0 and M2, as you can see for the second XOR gate. Now how you have identified whether this is first XOR gate or second XOR gate? So it is all identified from this particular switch. If you see this switch, it is first of all connected at this terminal, it means this is first XOR gate, and then later on it will be connected to this terminal, so it means this is second XOR gate. That's why I have written this as X1 and this as X2, and here we are getting the output X. Now before writing the final answer, first of all let us write the values of X1 and X2. So what is the value of X1? X1 is M0 plus M1 plus M2, and X2 is M0 plus M2. M0 plus M2. Now for which input we need to calculate the output? So input is 10011. So initially what we are considering, we can prepare here one table. In the first column of the table is D. The second column is content of shift register. Content of shift register. These are M0, M1, M2. This is input. And then output code word C, which is nothing but X1 and X2. Now initially what we are considering, when we are not applying any input, the initial content of the shift registers are 0. Nothing is there, so output is also 0. Now the first bit, when it applied to the convolutional encoder, it will be reaching to the first shift register, that is M0. So 1 will be reaching here, and the content of M0, that is 0, which is shifted here, and this 0 will be shifted here. So because of this 3 input, we are getting the value of X1 and X2. X1 is M0 plus M1 plus M2. So 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1, and X2 is M0 plus M2. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Now when the second input bit, which is 0, applied to the convolutional encoder, it will be storing in the first shift register, that is M0. So the content of M0, that is 1, shifted here, and content of M1 will be shifted here. So according to these 3 bits, we are getting the output X1 and X2. So 0 plus 1 plus 0 is 1, and 0 plus 0 is 0. So this operation will remain continue until and unless the last input bit will not reach to the last shift register. If you see, when the last input bit is applied here 1, it will be shifted, it will be stored in M0, content of M0, previous content of M0, it is shifted to the M1, and content of M1 will be shifted to the M2, and accordingly we are getting the output 0, 1. Now after this operation, we are not applying any input. Still this operation remains continue. So this 1 will be coming here, since applying no input means 0 here. This 1 is shifted here, and this 1 is shifted here. Accordingly we are getting the output. And in the last case, no applying input, so here 0, this 0 is shifted here, this 1 is shifted here, and accordingly we are getting the output. Now after this, all zeros in the input we are getting, so no output. So this is where the operation is supposed to be stopped. and finally we can write the output as x, and which is equal to 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 1. Here you can see 1 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 1, likewise. So this is all about this example.